Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Welcome to all the guests. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name?
Josh Tugendhaft.
Tugendhaft? From where?
Australia.
Wow. From where in Australia? Melbourne. Shalom Aleichem. Welcome. The first one on the thing. So what's your name? Teitelbaum? Satmar? You're stark? So we have more Satmar Hasidim, Rabbi Isai. Unbelievable. From where?
Edison, New Jersey.
Edison, wow. There's a guy here, Teitelbaum, in Ramat Bet Shemesh, who used to be, or still is, he works in Yechiel Moshe. No.
He's one of the big fundraisers.
Dave.
He's a big fundraiser in South America.
He looks very, very much Teitelbaum. Very Litvish looking. Shalom Aleichem, Zevi, how you doing? Okay, who else do we have here? Oh. Whose son? Also from Australia? What's your first name? I'm not going to try the last name.
Tugendhaft.
Tugendhaft? Shalom Aleichem, what's your name?
I'm Asmin.
Woodmere, Shalom Aleichem. Okay, we got more. What's your name? What? You're Spira? Where have you been, dude? Get over here. Come, no, I haven't seen you in years. Wow. Give me that smile like as if I'm supposed to know who you are. Manishma. Who else do we have? The guy with the red glasses. Where is he? You. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Mayor? From? I said hello to you 3 times already? Shalom Aleichem. What's going on?
How are you?
Did you fall off the daf or are you still on the daf?
I'm still on.
You fell off a little bit? I haven't seen you. Where are you?
In Yerushalayim.
We have a seal, we have a this. Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back. Welcome to the mothership. Yishkoyach. Thank you. It's from Chicago. It's a landsman from Chicago. Rabbi Isai, Rabbi Dushinsky, the one who has, I don't know, at least 2 yeshivas, and the one that said, he takes care of 2 yeshivas. It was machlokes with a 2 or 4. And he offered to take upon himself a little bit of the, if we open up an MDY yeshiva one day. So here he is in the red cap with some bachurim. Yivaldik. This is in Hebrew, but first of all, the guy on the left is my chavrus's brother, so I like it. He's wearing Israeli, he's a soldier, bekitzer, uniform, and he has a gun. So I'm doing this lahaches. I know my Chavrusa loves this stuff.
Eli Stefansky, גדול מזכי הרבים בארץ ובעולם. ייסדנו פה במיצד שיעור דף היומי. וניתן פה לרבי אלי דוגמית. ערב טוב רבי ישראל!
There's a magazine here in Israel called Bama, and Kobe Sela, who spoke by our Siyum, he interviewed me, and beautiful article there. So Yishkoyach Kobe, I hope it brings more people to Torah. Today, Be'ezer Hashem, we have a very ambitious plan to finish the Perek. It's doable. I know it's doable because I did it last night in Hebrew, started from the same place. And once again, there's a QR code here that especially if you live in Eretz Yisrael, this month they're raffling off a family pass, a yearly pass for the zoo and the aquarium, donated by the person that won the Tractoranim trip. He wants to give back. So last night or tonight is right now, maybe, in Lakewood. It's just unbelievable that people get together and it's bechazik the shir, it's bechazik the olam in their neighborhood. So jump on board. Here it is. This is the QR code. If you don't have it, Perek Ze Bayer. I think there's one coming up very quickly. This is from Binyamin Biron from Kiryat Sefer. Did I show this yesterday? I don't think. No, I didn't. So he says like this. Last night we made a siyum on Beitza learning the Eraisa program daily at 6:30 a.m. Listen to this. 6:30 a.m. with a group of 11-year-olds, 11 until 13-year-olds, at 6:30 a.m. This was inspired shortly after I started listening to Yashir by instructing us to find more time in our day. He found more time at 6:30 in the morning. That's not what I meant. I meant from the day that you have, there's parts that you could possibly use for Torah. We now started Megillah and already learned so far most of Rosh Hashanah and Yuma. Also, I listened to Yeshurim for a couple of years. when you taught Beitzah to help me prepare and deliver a clear and riveting shiur. Please see the attached linked video with your grandchildren. So Rabbi Isai, here are my grandchildren from Binyamin Biron, Kiryat Sefer, since Soita Daf Beis. Here we go. These are my grandchildren. What he means is, they're not. I mean, my oldest grandkid is 5 years old, Be'erech. So these are my grandchildren because I brought him to the shiur and he brought them to the shiur. These are grandchildren. Okay, we'll jump. There's more emails. We'll jump right into it because we have to go. Refuah Shelaima for Yosef, Chaim, Shmuel ben Alte, Nechama from his grateful family. These are Masechta sponsors. For Hatzlacha, Berukhanis, ובגשמיות, the Masechta sponsor Larry Cohn, in memory of Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim, who started learning Daf Yomi at age 70 and continued for 32 years until he's nifter. The Masechta for the unity of the Jewish people. The Masechta Glen Esterson with love and gratitude from Wilmington, North Carolina. Thank you for enriching my life with Torah. Rabbi Sai, Simin Toivo, Mazel Toivo, Mazel Toivo, Simin Toivo. What's going on here? Noam is 50 years old, Rabbi Sai.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Rabbi Noam because he's 50 years old.
Although he asked me specifically not to talk about it, I'm not talking about Noam, somebody else, but the whole Olam knows about this guy. He changed hundreds of people's lives himself. Molandi became a chassan. Yeah. He asked me not to say anything about it, so I hope nobody hears this. Mazel tov, Mo. Everybody was already on the groups and everything, so Mela, Mazel tov. Parnassa chodesh. Lili nishma Zechariah ben Moshe, Lili nishma Chaya bas Yosef. Parnassa chodesh. Yosef. We'll see if he listens to the sponsorships or not. It's very possible. He just skipped that over. Parnassa chodesh has this chos for our children and tremendous parnassa. Yosef ben Chaya Sara. If I didn't say it b'kavana, Yosef ben Chaya Sara for parnassa berevach. Lili nishmas Yafa bat Simcha for Shleimi Yisrael Yaakov ben Malka. And parnassa chodesh chos parnassa berevach for Baruch Tzvi Nisim bet Shoshana Leah. Parnassa chodesh Kidnovations LLC in honor of Uncle Elchanan Fishel, schus Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga, shidduch for Refuah bat Chaya, and thank you to Rebbitzen Stefansky. Parnassa Yoim. We got one Parnassa Yoim today. Moshe Kinsbursky, the one who got me 2 custom-made suits, not 1, 2 MDY custom suits. Lili Nishmas Shifra Bas David, who made Aliyah 94. There are people who start the Daf at 94. There's a people, you know what? I have a Murridika Maisa, unbelievable, one of the better stories that I'll be saying all the way at the end of this year, probably at 8:10, 8:05, 8:10. I'm not kidding, right around there, but it's unbelievable. It's Kedai to stick around for it. Unbelievable story. For Schus for Rebelli and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. And in honor of Yossi Klein, this is the Art of the Month, and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work they do, and they do. It's unbelievable how much work a human being. What? Oh. I want to say a tremendous mazel tov to the boys in 6th grade of Sha'arei Tzion. They made their very first siyum on one daf gemara, on the first daf gemara of their life. It's a big thing, big thing. And they did it with MDY. So mazel tov, mazel tov. You should continue to learn a lot of Torah and finish Shas quickly. Maybe we'll start with the negativity. Yeah. Says the Gemara, what? Okay. Ashkechei. We're holding like 14 lines from the bottom Daf Lamed Amud Beis. Ashkechei Rav Nachman by Yitzchak the Rav Huna Bereder Yeshua. So we have Rav Nachman and Rav Huna. They bumped into each other. Omar Lei. So I just want to review real quickly. We're going to use this. It's going to go quick. We had this yesterday. If 2 Eidim, the one on the right, the one on the left, they witnessed 2 different things on 2 different days, they witnessed an admission to a loan. One witnessed it on Sunday, the other witnessed an admission to a loan on Monday. The Gemara is going to speak about it now. It's possible, there's a possibility that they witnessed the same loan, about the same loan. There was an admission to a loan. There was a specific loan that happened. Let's say it was $99, and the one on Sunday heard an admission to it, and the one on Monday heard an admission to the same exact loan. It's possible that it's not two different loans. So therefore, there's a check. Those two Eidim, they get together and they're mitzdaref. If there's an admission after a loan, same exact thing, because it's possible that the one on the left heard the admission about the loan that happened on Sunday. They're actually talking about the same exact thing. But when we're talking about two separate loans, it's impossible that it's the same thing. It's two separate loans. One saw a loan on Sunday, one saw a loan on Monday. Therefore, the Gemara at this point, the Mandomer here holds that it's not mitzdaref. The same thing if there's a loan after an admission. There's an admission about a loan on Sunday, and then there's another loan afterwards. So they're two separate things. Okay. So says the Gemara, and he asks him, what's the problem with a loan after a loan? The loan that this one saw, like a chazi, the other one did not witness that. They're witnessing two separate acts, and therefore they don't combine together. As the Gemara, Nami. So why don't we say that an admission after an admission, maybe the one that he's admitting now in front of this guy, was not admitted in front of the second one. Says the Gemara, the Omar Lei, so we must say, says Rav Huna, I have a pshat. So it's an amazing thing. He gets shtacht for this. He says a beautiful pshat, and then he undoes his own pshat. The Omar Lei, we have to say, pshat is, that the loiva said, the Omar Lei, Lahai Basri, he tells the second guy that he admits to, what I just admitted to you today, you should just know that I did the same admission on Sunday in front of another guy. So Bekitzer, he's combining the two people by explaining what he admitted. He just combined the two things and he's talking about the same thing. Says the Gemara, okay, that's very good. Akati Basri Yoda, he just explained to the second guy. Kamala Yoda, he never explained to the first guy. What's the problem? The problem is, it says in the pasuk, we said that this pasuk is talking about two people. So why does the Torah use a singular lashon? To tell us that it has to be singular. It has to be in a way that the Eidim are on the same page, they know what's going on. The guy that witnessed something on Sunday has no idea about what happened on Monday. He's not together with Monday guy. Monday knows about Sunday. So he's on the same page. But Sunday doesn't know about Monday. So the Gemara says, what? Yeah, why?
Because I'm stating a fact.
By the way, because it's your birthday, I'm allowing this. Yeah.
You could have 50 questions.
Did I make a bracha? Yeah. Let's see the teretz, and if you have a problem after that, you're saying that how could you go back and make a yediyah?
No.
Is that what's bothering you?
I'm stating a fact. The second guy is saying, I'm corroborating that fact, and now we're two people that are stating the same fact.
Yeah, but they have to be.
The first guy doesn't need to know, except some chiddush.
And why does the second guy need to know about the first guy?
What?
Why does the second guy need to know about the first guy?
No, the second guy, the guy's just saying, I'm clarifying for you that it's the same loan that I was talking about.
Why? Why do I have to clarify? He admitted in Shalom.
Because otherwise we don't know.
So it's not the same loan.
We don't know if it's
Okay,
the same
but
loan.
so the first guy doesn't know about the second guy's same loan. He's not on the same page. He doesn't know there's another aid. The second guy, you're saying he needs to know that there's two aidim, and he was just told that there's another aid.
There's two of them. That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't need to know that there's two aidim. Second guy doesn't need to know about the two aidim. He just needs to know what the loan is. You're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but the pasuk says aid,
Right.
that the
That's
two
the aid.
aidim need to know.
For some reason, it has to be called an aid that I need to
Right.
know about each other.
It doesn't say, look,
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense.
look,
Why?
in the pasuk it says a few things. It says ra. Ra, there's one riyah, one haggadah. But in the aid, in terms of aid, they need to be one. They need to be on the same page. So it says the Gemara, okay. I'm not saying it's not. I thought you had a kasha that it doesn't make sense. Okay, you're saying it's a chiddush, okay? Says Gemara, the Hadran Ozal V'Amar Le'Lekama, the loiva has to go back to guy number one, the Sunday guy, and he says, Hai Mana Doide Le'Kamach, or Le'Nami Kame Ploini. The same one, what I did, I told the guy on Monday, I'm telling you now that there's a guy called Monday Aid, and be on the same page. Omar Le, so Rav Nachman tells Rav Huna, Tanuach daitcha shinachtas daiti the goyer siri nachta. Thank you. You put me at peace. Now I understand pshat. I'm happy now. Omar Lei, Rav Huna says, yeah, it's nice that I gave you a little bit menuchas hanefesh now, but guess what? I could undo it if I want. My nichusa, what are you so excited about? The Rava, Rav Ashi, Rav Sheshes, Shada Benarga. Rava, or maybe Rav Sheshes, they threw an axe at it. They destroyed this pshat. So I thought it would be interesting to show you when before I had Yoshi, I did my own art and it was not very good, and it's embarrassing. This is what it looked like. But Yoshi took it and he animated it. He threw. It was stationary. It was like this, right? I did this. Certified Rebelli Tchelis, he put that in. And the box with the lettering in Lerevayim, this is in Rosh Hashanah time. It's not so far away. So Yoshi's able to take this old and show what it means to Shada. He threw the axe. I didn't know how to throw axes. Threw it and that destroyed that pshat. Okay. So Shada ben Nagri, he threw an axe and it destroyed it. Lav haino ida achar alva. Oh, I didn't chop that part. Oh, that's what he did. I hear. I managed to chop. He changed the guy to make him. After this is what I did, like stationary, not even moving, with the 8-minute daf log on the bottom. Great. And then this guy, he starts talking, he starts doing stuff, and he moves. Crazy stuff. Okay? Anyway, so there's something called, we had 4 cases. Guys, let's. David Hochaz, you have something over there? We hear it over here also. So, says the Gemara, it's the same thing. What you're telling me that you have to go notify this aid, so then when there's a loan and then there's a admission, that's also something that you'd have to notify both parties. You have to tell the first aid, you should know that I admitted in front of the second guy there was an admission, and you tell the second guy, by the way, there was also a loan. You have to go back and forth to both Eidim and explain to them what happened to the 2 Eidim. So that's the same case. The same case. According to you, we don't have 4 cases. I heard about you. You have a reputation that you like to chop trees down, then replant them. In other words, you tell me a good pshat, then you get rid of it, you do whatever you want, you're playing around here. So now we're just going to, picturing in mind the 4 cases that we said before, whether the 2 Eidim are testifying about different admissions on different days, whether the second aid testified to admission that happened after a loan, and here's the chiddush. If they testify about 2 different loans that occurred, they are mitzdarif together, it's pele ploim. And certainly, now we know that even a loan that happened after admission. So aid number 1 says, unbelievable. Aid number 1 says, I witnessed a loan on Sunday. Aid number 2 says, I witnessed a loan on Monday. We take the 2 Aidim, we put them together, and the guy owes $100. Because that's what the 2 loans were, even though we know that's on 2 different days. This is the famous Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim of yesterday, that 2 different Eidim, as long as together we have a certain amount, 100 from here and 100 from here, we put them both together, there's a total loan of 100. I know it happened on 2 different days. Unbelievable chiddush. Omer Rav Yehuda, remember this name, because we're going to remember him soon, that we're going to say, Rav Yehuda argues on Rav Chizda. So says Rav Yehuda, Eidus HaMakchesh Zu B'Bdikos. Tomorrow, Beis Hashem, we're starting a new parak, and over there it's all about the chakiras, the bdikas and chakiras. There's 2 parts. When witnesses come in, so we do chakiras, we ask them the very basic questions, and they have to know those questions. What day, what time, what happened, there was a murder, what did the murder weapon look like? Color is different. Color is called bdikas. If you fail on a bdika, you don't know the exact color, no, not the end of the world. So it says Rav Yehuda, 1 aid says it was blue. The other one says it's green. We don't toss out the testimony when it comes to monetary things, mamanas. I could understand this when we're talking about a side object like the wallet. What color was the wallet? He says the wallet was black, and the other one says it was white. Literally 2 different colors, the opposite colors. But you know what? he wasn't really focusing on the wallet. He was focused more on the loan, the money that came out of the wallet. If they're arguing about what color the money is, aim and starving. There's no tziruf. I'll say the story here. It's a little controversial, but for the joke shaboy, the meiser shaboy, it's kedai. There was a known doctor that helped out yeshiva guys that want to get out of the army. So what you do is you go to him, you go for a little bit of a checkup, and if you put 200 shekel bill on your back, he would remove the 200 shekel and he let you go. So this one guy, he didn't have enough money. He decided instead of 200, he put a 20 there. So he goes into the doctor starts checking and he looks, he says, listen, I see that you're developing a machla here, Taka. When it gets blue, come back. Now I don't want to hear any emails. Now you're promoting these kind of behaviors of getting out of it. I'm not going into that. I heard a mice, I'm just saying it over. Seems like when it comes to capital punishment, to killing somebody was over. So you have to be very much on the same page in every single aspect, even on the color of the wallet. So here we have somebody that argues on Rav Yehuda. Before we said Rav Yehuda says that this is only in Mamonis. And now we're going to ask a question from Rav Chisda on Nefashis. There's not an axe, a dagger, like a knife. Okay, but kids are two different. I like this more because it's similar. One is longer, one is shorter, but they're both knives. Okay. We have a big problem in the what is it called in English? The weapon. It's always a big thing. The police it's about the weapon. We have to find the weapon. It's a different weapon. There's a 9mm. This is a 45. Oh, that's okay. A 22. Haragai. It doesn't work. You can't kill a guy like that. Why? The Rash of Chakarta of Alte Heta, when it comes, you have to mamish be dorish, choker, ask really well. You never know nothing. Okay. You have to be very, very exact. But if they argue about the color of the clothing, so says Rav Chisda, it does work. If you're off on the color of a side thing, the murderer's clothing is wearing blue pants, green pants, it's okay.
Why then bother asking a question?
Good kasha. You want to see maybe a general feel? I hear. Good kasha. Maybe we'll get an answer tomorrow. I got to tell you the story. It happened with my mother-in-law, Shaya. My mother-in-law was in a car wash in Chicago, here, something like this. When I went searching for a picture of car wash, now this is not the best car wash in the world, but it happens to be that this is exactly the car that my mother-in-law was driving. MS, a Volvo station wagon, red. So anyway, she's in this car wash in Chicago. She's minding her own business. Everything, the soap is falling and everything. And all of a sudden, the passenger door opens up. I'm not going to describe what the guy looked like, but he grabbed her purse and ran away. While she's stuck there. She's in a car. What is she going to do anyway? Where is she going to run out? She's in the car wash. So she calls up the police. And she calls them up and says, this is what happened. So they come down there and they said, what? Describe the guy. So she said, he's wearing like some jacket. He's wearing this cap, whatever, whole thing. She describes exactly. 5 minutes later, they bring the car. They say, you have to identify the guy. She comes. It's a yeshiva bacher. He's wearing a hat and a jacket, exactly like she described. She said a hat and a jacket, and they took a yeshiva bacher, Meiser Shahaya, yeshiva bacher off the street. Is this the guy? Truth, my mother-in-law cannot make up a mice like that. She doesn't. She's a glot like anything. It's Caleb Shchayrim. It was Caleb Shchayrim I'm not going to say more. It was Caleb Shcharim over here. The Godin, she didn't describe the whole Gavra, was more the Caleb. Okay. Gavra Karamis. Says the Gemara, what do you bring a rye from Rav Chizda against Rav Yehuda? Yeah, you're right. According to Rav Chizda, it has everything to do with, you don't have to, according to Rav Chizda, when it comes to murdering, a murder case, you don't have to get the colors right. And according to Rav Yehuda, you do. Daf Lamed Aleph, Amud Aleph on top, unbelievable. 30 daf into Masechta Sanhedrin. Mamish, no, it's crazy. The time flies. Let's fly. Arguing, they say, listen, if there's an argument about the color of the money, they could, it's not a big deal. This goes like Refuah ben Karcha. Think about it for a second. What does Refuah ben Karcha say? Even though one guy testifies about a loan that happened on Sunday, one guy testified about a loan that happens on Monday, you put them together. Over here, one guy's testifying about a black coin, the other one is a white coin. No, put them together. Says the Gemara, what are you talking about? That makes sense. Refuah ben Karcha said, when there's no argument between the Eidim. One says there's a loan on Sunday, he doesn't argue with the other guy. There was another loan that took place on Monday. The guy that says Monday says there's a loan on Monday, it could be there's another loan on Sunday. We're not arguing with each other. You can put them both together because the total outcome is that there's $100 given to this guy. But over here they're talking about the same exact loan that happened at the same exact time, 12 o'clock on Sunday. There was a loan that took place with a black coin, and the other guy says, no, it was a white coin. So they're arguing with each other. When you argue with each other, Rabbi Shimon ben Karcha doesn't say that they get together. He says like the other Tana, this mamish, you could go like Beis Hillel. That what? Unbelievable case. Two Eidim say, Reuven borrowed 200. The other two Eidim, there's 4 Eidim total. The other two say no, it was actually 100. They say no, it was 200. So in that case, no machlokes. Everybody will agree that within 200 you have 100. Everybody agrees that there was 100 loan. Yes. The question was it more than 100? Was it 200? So the guy at least owes 100. It's still a big chiddush, I think, because they saw a $100 bill, not a $50 bill. They saw this. In Israel, there's a 200 shekel bill. It's completely different than a 100 shekel bill. But within 200, it's 100. They're arguing, but Lamaisa, they're not being makrish. They should be makrish each other, knock each other out. Aman nechleku. So where is the machlokes between Bisham and Bishilel? One pair of Eidim. In other words, each one of the two is saying something different. One Eid says, I saw that it was a 200 thing, and the other one says it was 100. So Bishami say, forget it, you have a problem here, you can't use them at all. At least they agreed to one thing. They agreed that there was a $100 loan that took place here. There's an argument on the second $100. Okay, fine, and that we won't take their testimony. But on the 100, he has to pay. So in Mela Bayos also there's Bechlal Mosayim Mana. Says the Gemara, what about a very simple case? One aid says, I saw that he borrowed a barrel of wine. The other one says, I saw a barrel of oil. Oil is much more, let's say it's double the price of wine. Do we say the same thing? Bechlal Mosayim Mana. Within the barrel of, at least they admit that there was a loan of a barrel of wine. He says, yes. You could say within a barrel of oil, there's at least one barrel of wine, so pay him one barrel of wine. That's mamish the 200 and 100, says the Gemara, no. Within 200 is 100. When one guy says that I saw a loan of a barrel of oil, there's no wine in oil. There's value in oil, but you can't say there was a physical wine when he says this physically was oil. They're contradicting each other. Kick them out. What happened was they never argued on what happened. They were saying what the value was. One aid says he lent him the value of a barrel of oil, which is 200. Another guy says no, he lent him the value of a barrel of wine, which is 100. So it's actually the same story as 200 and 100. We don't know and we don't care. They were talking about the value only. They weren't talking about a metzias. They weren't talking about a fact.
He admitted to it. He said, that's what she said.
Okay. The mission of a value of wine. So Mela, it doesn't. Yeah, there's no wine. There's nothing physical there. There was an admission. It took place on the first floor, the second floor, two Adam. Each one says something else. This is like it could be on a Sunday and a Monday. It could be on the first floor and the second floor. It's not a contradiction. Refuah also says it doesn't really matter the details, the b'dika details. So if you mitzaref these two things, on two different days, and you say like Rabbi Yehuda that we when it comes to b'dika, you could contradict the other guy in terms of the minor things, the first floor, second floor. So in Mela, you could combine the two edus. Says the Gemara, when a dying comes out of the bezdin, you shouldn't tell the guy, oh, by the way, I was on your side. It's the other two guys that were jerks. We had this almost word for word in the Mishnah. Which I do if I was outvoted. You're not allowed to say rechilus. There's an isser in Mishlei to say over a secret. Somebody tells you a secret, you're not allowed to say over what he said. Says the Gemara, there was a Talmud that gave over a secret that was in the Beis Medrash. 22 years later, there's a secret nobody was saying over. No, it is lashon hara to say this. I'm reading Rashi. Rashi says what you're saying. What he's saying is it's lashon hara to say it over. It's a secret. We don't know what the secret is.
Like me. It was a lashon hara thing.
No, you can't say. Then it's lashon hara. That's lashon hara.
22 years later.
Shigila, stop. Shigila, he said over a secret. Lashon hara. That is lashon hara. Yeah. That's the look at Rashi. Rashi says it. These are the words. They just took the words of Rashi and they messed it up a little bit.
Two different places. Yeah, both of them.
Look at Rashi.
Both of them messed it up.
It's the same. You're learning from the same company. That's sometimes they made a little mistake. Fine. So, Apke Rav Ami Baby Drasha, Rav Ami threw him out of the Beis Medrash after 22 years. Why? Dain Gali Rozaya, not Dain Medaber Lashon Hara. This is not a guy. There's a guy that says over secrets. Saying over secrets is a little bit of Lashon Hara. I just saw yesterday, Mamish, but I just saw a meiser from Elon Musk. I thought it was very, very cool. There was in the beginning of Tesla, there was not too many people, a couple hundred people in the company, and somebody was leaking inside information to the media. So Elon came up with a Mordechai Chab. He's an Eloi. Came up with a Mordechai Chab. It's an old trick, but I like the way he did it. He wrote an email to the whole company, and somebody in the company leaked it, gave the whole email to the press, and he found out he chapped who it is based on the email. How did he do it? He wrote the same email but hundreds of times, and in each email he separated the word, one word in the email, instead of one space, two spaces. But every email got a different space in a different place, and therefore he's able to know which one it was. That's. Because sometimes if you add another word, then the guy will chop. Wait a minute, how come you don't have that word? So I can't give it. But he looked, it's the same email as so-and-so, same email as so-and-so. Just the space, one space was different. Kolzman shemevi raya soisis adin.
It didn't wait 22 years.
It took 22 years to chop this guy. No, I'm saying if you chop, you chop. All right. In America, we have something called statute of limitations.
I'm saying, but he got the info from the reporter, right? So the reporter told him who sent the email?
No, the reporter has the inside email from Tesla, and they put it on the screen. The reporter showed. Look, we have real. This is the real thing. The new Tesla is coming out next month. Here's the email, official email from Tesla. But now we know which one of the 200 employees sent it. So the Mishnah starts off saying, if you have a raya, there's no such thing as statute of limitations. You have a raya 2 years later, bring it into Bezin, we'll undo everything. But if they said specifically, you have 30 days to bring any raya. So if you can prove it within 30 days, great. But after 30 days, you cannot. I argue on you. Says Reb Shimon Gamliel, I argue with you. He found it after 40 days. He was all of a sudden he's going through a drawer and he found something, some document that helped him out. What's the difference? 30, 40? This is the case of, what is this case called? Raya Rishayna. Because he brought a Raya, and it's the first case of the Mishnah. It's Raya Rishayna. We all know that the Allah is like Reb Shimon Gamliel. In all of Shas, everywhere he says something in any Mishnah, the Allah is like him, besides in 3 places. Orev, Tzidon, V'Raya Achroina. So I'm just explaining. Raya Achroina is this coming case because it's the second Raya in the Mishnah. That's not like Reb Shimon. If they said specifically, bring me Eidim, V'Omar. Huh? Everything is like Reb Shimon. Besides 3 places. Amud Aleph actually. V'Omar Ainli Eidim. He says specifically, I do not have Eidim. I don't have Eidim. Oh, so that's a different case. Now he admitted he doesn't have Eidim. Omar Aviraya, the Bezdin. What's Omar in Lashon Yachid? Omar, the Bezdin says, bring proof. V'Omar Ainli Raya. He says, I don't have a Raya. This is the case of a Raya Achroina. I don't have, it's not the last Raya, it means the last one in the Mishnah, the second case in the Mishnah. All of a sudden he found the Raya and he found Eidim. We don't listen to him. Omar Reb Shimon Gamliel. Mayas says he argues in the same thing, but over here we don't pass him like him. Mayas says well, he didn't know. He was in a car accident, and he thought everybody drove away. He didn't know. All of a sudden somebody steps forward 40 days later. He didn't know he had a raya. All of a sudden there's a video. There's a video camera somewhere. Rosh Mischai Bedin, another halacha. He sees that it's no good. It's getting close, and they're going to go against him. V'amar cover plani v'yiduni, bring the Eidim. Or he brought a raya, he all of a sudden pulls out a raya. We don't listen to him. Why? Because all of a sudden he produced a raya before. He brought a raya because he thought that he's going to be in big trouble. Here. Moridik, Givaldik. Completely forgot about these guys. So if a guy all of a sudden, when he sees that it's not going good and he pulls these guys out, it's garnished. Let me show you this. Hold on.
Do you have any evidence or witnesses that you do not owe Shimon $200,000?
I'm sorry, but I do not have any evidence.
So we rule that Reuven...
Oh, wait. Here's a receipt that proves I already paid.
What? Where did you get that from? 1 minute. Scroll down the document.
What is this? I paid $10,000 to receive a fake document that cannot be detected, and I get this garbage? I want my money back.
No problem. You'll get all the money back down to the last penny. Of course, only if you can bring evidence that you paid.
Oy vey.
The first part of the Mishnah, the Raya Rishayna, we'll call it, the halakha is like Reb Shimon Gamliel. The what? Bezin says you have 30 days to bring your rayas. He doesn't say anything, and all of a sudden he produces a raya after 30 days. We listen to him. And you should know that Allah is not like Chacham. As Gemara Pshita, anytime in Shas we say the Allah is like Rebbe Kiva, but we never say, oh, but the Allah is not like Reb Tarfon. You say the Allah is like so and so and finish. What do you tell me? But the Allah is not like Chacham. Says the Gemara, even though Allah Reb Shimon Gamliel, Memeli Yidan Allah Chacham. Also, of course, I know that if the Allah is like Reb Shimon Gamliel, of course the Allah is not like Chacham. Says the Gemara, I would say I would think that the Allah is like Reb Shimon Gamliel in the first place. I would but if a guy was over. If the Bezin was over and said, oh, let's do like Chachamim. Chachamim is the Roiv, they're the Rabbim, let's go with them. So I would think, okay, after the fact, it's okay. In other words, if Chacham Paskin, the Bezin Paskins, we don't accept new evidence because we're going to go like Chacham now. No. We have to redo everything. So the second case is when Bezin says, bring Eidim, and he says specifically, I don't have Eidim. And then all of a sudden he produces Eidim. In this case, the Allah is like Chachamim. Same thing like we said before. The halacha is like this one, but not like that one. The halacha is like Chachamim, not like Reb Shimon Gamliel. Since you already said halacha is like Chachamim, obviously the halacha is not like Reb Shimon Gamliel. How come the Gemara over here doesn't answer? Well, maybe it's after the fact. The halacha is like Chachamim, but if he went after the fact, went like Reb Shimon Gamliel, then we have to tell you that it doesn't work. Because over here we're saying that halacha is like the Rabbim. There's no reason in the world to think that if you went like the Yachid, you should be Yaitza. Oh yeah, I forgot to do this. It was in the wrong place. Sorry. Let me show this.
Folks, get your juicy gossip here. You haven't heard anything like it.
Goes from city to city giving Lashon Hara. Okay. So the Gemara. I want to tell you a different chiddush. You should know the halacha is like Chachamim, but the halacha is not like Reb Shimon Gamliel because in all of Shas the halacha is like Reb Shimon Gamliel. And this comes to exclude what Rabbi Yochanan says. The halacha is always like Reb Shimon Gamliel, besides chutz me'orev v'tzaydon v'raya achroina. Rabbi Yisai here's raya v'tzaydon, orev v'tzaydon, tzidon. Orev is there's something called the Orev Kabbalan, a guarantor who's a Kabbalan. So when I give a loan, says Reb Shimon Gamliel, you have to go directly to the loiva. You can't, even though there's a very good guarantor there, you don't go to the guarantor, you first go to the loiva. Tzidon is that when a guy says, I'll divorce you on condition that you give me back my coat, and she says, I don't have the coat, I'll give you money instead, she is divorced. At the end, she did find the coat. And Raya Achroina is when a guy says, I don't have Eidim, and then all of a sudden he produces Eidim. That's our case. Ahu Yenuka. Sad story. The Tavul Adino, there was a little kid that they brought to Bezin. His father died, and they said, you owe us money. The father left real estate, so he's obligated to pay the loan. They came to Kamed Rav Nachman. Omelei Islach Saadi, do you have any Eidim? Omelei Loi, I don't have Eidim. Islach Raya? Omelei Loi, I don't have a Raya. What's the halacha when a person says Enli? I don't have Eidim. I don't have a Raya. We have a machlokes, and who do we passing like? Not like Reb Shimon Gamliel. This is one of 3 times that we don't pass. And he can't produce Eidim afterwards. Chayvi Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman said, you chayv money. Have a kabachi vazel. Says the Gemara here. He's crying. Have a kabachi vazel. I didn't even know it has sound. Yes, I didn't know. Vazel. He left. Shamu anach inshay. Overlay. Anayedinan b'milid avuch. We do know. We have Eidim. We know the Eidim that saw the whole thing. Omer Rav Nachman b'ha afilu rabbanim moidu dinuke b'milid avuch lo yoda. How should this guy know about the Eidim? So yesterday, I said I have to say over the story from Chaim Kreisworth. I said it many times, and most people know the story. And I said it over. And a guy comes over to me after Shir and tells me, you should know that's Reb Chaim Kreisworth's the other side today. I had no idea. So I'm going to say it over. That was yesterday. The famous Meister of Chaim Kreisworth was in the Holocaust, and a guy came over and said, listen, I don't think I'm going to make it. He was an older person. He says, but do me a favor. I have a Swiss account somewhere. Find my son, give him the code. Here's the code. Chaim Kreisworth looked for this guy, searched for this guy for many, many years, most of his life. Didn't find him. One day, many, many years later, he finds this guy. He's in his 90s and gave him the code, and the guy became an instant millionaire. So the Olam always asks, what happened there? Was he always a millionaire, just he didn't know about it? He was homeless. Like the guy was like the poorest guy ever. Or is the pshat, no, he was not. It's when you know, come now. So I thought about it this morning, actually last night, but it comes to sports, Lamashal, basketball game, you have a soccer game, football, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't really matter. You're down by 3, you're down by 10, it doesn't matter. What matters? At the end of the day, when the time goes out, you're up. When it comes to Torah, Rabbi Yisai, it doesn't matter what happened. You're 40, 50, when you discover Daf Yomi, you discover Torah when you're 60 years old. But at the end of the day, when you leave, when you're done, when the game's over, you're a Ben Torah, you're learning Torah every day, you win. We don't look back. We don't say, oh, well there was the whole life like this. That doesn't matter. It matters how you finish. That's what matters here. Zog the Gemara, Ayi Yitzo. Huh? That's right. You don't know. This is not a sports game that we have 4 quarters and you know exactly when it's over. Your game might be over in the first quarter, Rabbi Isai. You never know. Nobody knows.
When the guy has a real comeback, it's even bigger. Right? A team that's not doing well at all and comes back.
Oh, the comeback. Yesh koino olamai b'shah achas. You acquire olam haba in 1 second. In 1 touchdown, last second, Hail Mary. 1 daf Gemara the last day. Says the Gemara, Ayid said the nafak story metusi yoda. There was a woman. I got this Gemara. Up, get touchdown. Ayid said the nafak story metusi yoda. Please don't make us a thing out of that one. No, you may. Ayid said the nafak story metusi yoda. There's a woman. Listen to this, Rabbi Isai. People trusted this woman. I got to get to the story. It's an unbelievable story, and we have a whole lot to do. A woman who had a star. She was a very responsible woman. People gave her stars. They didn't have banks in those days. They didn't have safety deposit boxes. Somebody owes you $1 million. You're not going to hold it in your house. Somebody's going to steal it. You give it to this woman, the elderly lady in the neighborhood who's going to go steal from her. So she has the star. Does she have a say over here? Could she say, oh, the star was paid off, the star wasn't paid off? Why should she have a say? Because at the end of the day, if she wants, the Gemara is going to say she could burn it. She could get rid of it. She could claim it's hers. I don't know what. So let's see what goes on here. Amr Alei, she said, this star was paid off. Rav Nachman believed her. Rav Nachman, so the famous Talmud asked his Rebbe, Rav asked Rav Nachman, Kiman, Rebbe, we don't pass him like Rebbe. So who are you going like? What does Rebbe say? The Amar, look at this, upgraded Oisios Niklas ben Mesira. You could acquire money, words, letters. A star it's not the paper, it's what's written in the star. It's the word. I could just, by giving you the star. So even though she has a star, it says Reuven owes money to Shimon, and her name is neither Reuven nor Shimon. She has a woman's name. Her name is Sara Gittel, but she's holding on to the star. So somebody gave her the star. It's hers. Finished. And it's her star. She could say it's hers. She didn't say it's hers. So she's telling you what happened to it. It's paid off. No, and we don't pass like Rebbe. Says Rav Nachman, I'll tell you why. Because she has another migui. She could burn it. Some say the story was the opposite. Rav Nachman said she's not believed. And on that, Rav said, she could burn it. Daf Aleph Amud Beis. Says the Gemara, since there's a hempek. What's a hempek? Rabbi, so you remember hempek? What's a hempek? Oh, certified on the bottom. There's a hempek from Bezdin. And then it's already too late. She doesn't have any say because Bezdin already certified this document. Taisis has the kasha, but she could still burn it now. After simple, and if you have a receipt, so you just bring the edim and the receipt is good to go. If there's no edim, oh, this is a bomb question. We can't get out of this. It says mafurish. If you have a third party like this woman, or underneath where the edim sign, it says that this is paid off, kosher. Alma shalosh mehemen. So you see, you could believe a third party. If you believe that this is what Rav Nachman said, the second lashon, then we have a bam kasha. Sponsors. Turning of Daf Tevis, Berkovici family in honor of them, the White Daf champions, Leo Shamshi Shlafrak, Uncle Freddie, and Mr. Gross. And the Refuah Shelaima of our fearless leader in chief, Chaim Gervil ben Sivilana, by the members of the Muncie Fire Department, and Yaakov Citron, Serum Films, strategic video production. So we have a little bit of a contradiction. He says people could bring a raya until he's done saying anything, and then it says a second later, and he could bring 2 eidim afterwards. The Gemara explains the question. Yeah. I'm not going to read it again. I'll say it again by the Sima Shas if you can prove that I didn't say those words. You say that he's done. He's done with his claims. Asan Rabbanan. That's like your Rabbanan. Once he's done, he's done. You can't bring more proof. You can't introduce new evidence into the court. And then you said you could introduce more evidence, more edim. Says the Gemara, that goes. Asan Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, you can bring edim whenever you want. Now you'll say, oh, maybe the mission is just Meir, not Meir, Rabbi Dambi. You got to see the story. That's a chiyuv. You'll say that the whole thing, the whole Bryce is Rishon Gamliel. It's just an explanation. That what? What does it mean until he has nothing else to bring to court? Until he's done, Mamish done. But at the end of the day, if he brings Eidim afterwards, it works. But that can't be that we're explaining according to Rishon Gamliel. Why? We all just learned in Amud Aleph that the halacha is not like Rishon Gamliel in this 1 or 3 times in Shas, and this is one of them. So why would I explain something according to Rishon Gamliel? We always pass like him. So we must say that the whole Bryce is Chachamim. Like Chachamim. Once he's done, he's done. How? When they tell him, do you have Eidim? And he says specifically, no, I don't have Eidim, that's it. You can't bring more Eidim. But what happens if, there's an exception to the rule. What if there's no way for him to figure out that there was Eidim? They came from a different country. He had no idea that somebody owes money to his father. It was somebody was holding on to the star. If he's able to find these stars, find these Eidim, then in that case, he could use them. He also have a new sugya completely. Somebody's really, really aggressive in the Din Torah. He figures he's very aggressive because he's comfortable with these dayanim, but if I bring him to an established bezdin, the famous bezdin in the big city, he'll calm down a little bit. Let's go to the big bezdin. We can force him to go to the big city. Rebbe, it makes no sense what you're saying. What if the whole loan was $100? Forces a guy to take a flight to Phoenix, Arizona, to a bezdin, and the whole flight costs $600-700, and he's going to waste 15 hours in the airports, and who knows what? Today with Mark, I just said it, I threw it out. If somebody owes 100, he's going to spend 100 to get there. No, even though he doesn't like the bezdin, it's too bad. You stay there in that city. There's a little taisus here that's in parentheses. Taisus says, you see from this sugya that I cannot force somebody to pay the fees of the bezdin and everything else. So there are those who argue, and they argue so much, they say this whole taisus doesn't make sense, they put in parentheses, throw it out. Okay. Says the Gemara, Itmar Nami Omer of Safra. Two people fighting in a Din Torah, let's go somewhere else. Here, Mamish Mefurish, like we just said, no, you stay right over here. Let's say it's a very small bezdin. They're not so familiar in halacha, they have a little problem. They need the big guns, the guys, the real Tamid Chachamim. You don't bring up the whole bezdin and go. You don't go to a new bezdin. You write them a letter, send them an email. I want to know why you passing like this. Says the Gemara, you give it to him. Now, if you read it from the art scroll, at least in the top part, you'd say, oh, it says Mefurish. If I demand to know why you passing like that, I can demand. But there's a beautiful Taisus here, and Taisus says, this is just the first words, it's only in a situation where we force the guy not to go to the big bezdin, and I'm in the small bezdin. So says the guy, you small dayanim that you forced me to be here, I don't trust you, I don't understand what you're talking about. Put it in writing. But if it's a regular Din Torah, and I agree to be here, then I cannot force the bezdin. Unbelievable chiddush here. Yeah, it's a idea that you have to know. I can't force the bezdin to write me. Don't go to every bezdin and say, oh, I learned in Daf Yomi, kach v'kach.
Bezdins make you sign it anyways, that you accept it and you can't demand an explanation.
Okay, if they do that, you can.
They do that.
By the way, in case you don't listen to emails, you're anti-emails, so a guy sent me an email today, and I'm going to read it tomorrow or something. A big guy in this year, a lot of you are familiar with him, he asked not to say his name. He said, after learning the daf 2 days ago, he realized that he and his brother-in-law signed on his niece's ksuba, and he had to go to the Rabbanim now, and they had to redo the Kiddushin. Because of Daf Yomi that happened 2 days ago. Maisa Shahaya Meir, you hear this? Huh? They went to Rabbanim. He says, the daf saved the marriage. That was the name of the email. I'm going to read it. They didn't chap. It was the sisters. Time out. It was different. It's the sisters. The wife's sister's husband, the furthest kurva.
It's not good.
No, so you know.
Right.
He went to ask that Masad Kedushin what to do. Omer Vami. Yavam has to go after Yavam. To where? Let's say he's on vacation in Florida. You don't go to Florida. You go to the city that he lives in. Ad Kama. Omer Vami. Afilu mitveria litzi poiri. So they're very close actually, but the chiddush is that Tveria has the better bezdin, right? That's where Ravami Ravasi I think lived. So all the big but you could force her to go to the place called Tzipori, which has lesser bezdin, because that's where the Yavam lives. Omer Rav Kana Mikra, where do you see it in the pasuk? V'karu loy ziknei iroi. It's his city. V'loy ziknei ira. Omer Ameima Hilchasa. Koyven Yosef v'yelech l'mokem avad. You can force them to go, if there's a machlokes between two people, not a Yavama and this, but a regular case, you can force them to go. This argues on what we said before. You can force them to go to the bigger bezdin in the big city. But we just learned that you don't go to another city, force them in that city. That's because the loiva said it to the malva. Alva malva, like we had before, a malva could force somebody to go to another bezdin. I'm not going to say this joke now. Eved loiva lish malva, because it says ava malva eved loiva. When you're a borrower, you become a slave to the malva. Sholchalei lemar ukva. So here comes the story. Rabbi, I wanted to tell you the story. Sholchalei lemar ukva. They sent mar ukva. Lidziv lei, the one that has a glow on his face, kibar bisya shalom. Like the son of Bisya. Who's Bisya? We call like our Ganenet, I don't know why exactly, but everybody calls her Basya. But in the Torah it says Bisya, and the Gemara always says Bisya. What? Yeah, it says in Tanakh Bisya, of course. Tanakh, not in Torah, but in Tanakh. So it says Bisya. And who is the son of Bisya? Moshe Rabbeinu. And Moshe Rabbeinu had a glow. Who's Marukva? Marukva is brought down in Shas dozens of times. Rabbi Isai hears the story, unbelievable story. Says Rashi, Umatzausi b'sefer Agoda, I found in the Agoda, Shoyamar Ukva Bal Tshuva. He's about Tshuva, he had a late start in life. Shenosan, what happened to him? He was a bad guy. Shenosan Einov B'isho Achas, he wanted to marry a certain woman. V'hela Liboitina, V'nofa B'chayli, he became so sick, lovesick. The problem is, Veishis Ish Haisa. She was a married woman. Liyamim Nitzachal Lulvais Mimeno. She had to borrow money from him. She was so in such duress, she agreed to be over an issue with him to get the loan. Says Rashi, at that point, when it was mamish, a done deal, he controlled himself. And he said, get out of here. And then, and he became healthy. And from that moment on, he had a ruchnistic light on his forehead. Shabbos, they called him the tzitzah. Rabbi said, I thought it's unbelievable. A guy who was almost over the biggest one of the three chamurais, and what did he do? He controlled himself. That's like a huge madrega. When you're there, you're already there, you're already going to be over, and at the last second you stop and you control, you zuk at such madregas that this person is mentioned in Shas dozens of times since that point. He wasn't a little baby then, he was an older person. He became about tshuva to the point where he learned Torah and he says things in Shas all over. How? From the lowest to the low. A guy that wanted to be over on Eshesish, convinces the Eshesish to marry him. It's unbelievable. No? Says Gemara, Ukvena Bavli, Shalom, that I said, but we'll say it again. Shalom Aleichem, how you doing? Ukvena Bavli Kova Kadmana. There was a person called Ukvan, he lived in Bavel, Kova Kadmana. He came to us, he said, Yirmi Yachi, Hever Elias Aderech, according to the first Pshat in Rashi, he was Mesaris me. My own brother gave me Sirus. He lives in Bavel, come to Tveria. Says Gemara Gufa Kasha. There's a little bit of a contradiction here. Amrus Imruloi, from the first part, Imruloi Almadainu Atun. you should give him a din Torah in Bavel. Then it says, "Asiyu v'yir panenu b'Tveria," which seems like Al Mishadruacha, bring him to Eretz Yisrael. Which one is it? Elachi Kamri. Imrele Dainu Atun. You should first try the case in Bavel. Itzai says if he listens, he listens. Eli Asiyu v'yir panenu b'Tveria. Then bring him to Eretz Yisrael. It's a completely different thing. We're talking about penalties, knas. The problem is there is no bezdin in Bavel that could deal with this stuff because it's a knas. And the reason why they mentioned Bavel, they lachli cover the marugva to give marugva cover the balchuva marugva. Hadran Allah ze boirer, Hadran Allah ze boirer, Hadran Allah ze boirer. Shabbos.